the 3D radar of recruiting. This is the Athletic Scholarship Podcast, episode number 117. Well, I bet you're getting tired of me by now. This is day 4 days in a row of the recruiting funnel from prospect to scholarship. And we're just walking through some of the key points step by step to get you an athletic scholarship. I'm Jon Fugler. I'm an author, a speaker, a podcaster, and athletic scholarship coach, of course, and the father of 2 scholarship athletes who went through this whole process. And boy, we ended up doing it successfully. A lot of it by trial and error, but we had some help. And that was nearly 20 years ago. Now, I kind of know it. I've kind of done it. I've kind of taught it. And hundreds, even thousands of parents have used this with their son or daughter to go through the recruiting process. And, you know, if you do this right, if you stick with it, you will get that scholarship if you're a talented athlete who can compete at the next level. In this episode, we're going to be talking about something really critical, and it's people ask about this all the time. What about video? How do I use video? When should I send it? What should be on the video? Distributing it, all these kinds of things. We're going to cover these tonight in this episode. You might be listening in the morning, but hey, I'm recording this at night. It's been a long week, but it's been very rewarding. I just want to thank those who are celebrating with me the new Recruit Me Athletic Scholarship System, and you have purchased the system. I am grateful, and I look forward to giving you a personal review, comprehensive review of your introductory packet when you have that together, because I want to make sure that you start hearing from coaches in the next 30 days. And that's part of it, having an intro packet that is superb. And I want to help you with that. We go through that step by step and in detail in the new Recruit Me system, both with video and with the textbook. But I will give you that personal review. Anybody who purchases by November 10th through November 10th will receive that comprehensive review. I really don't do that anymore, but I wanted to make sure that as we launch the new Recruit Me system, that I give you everything I can. I can't do it for everybody because I don't have enough time, but I'll do it for everybody who purchases by November 10th. You know, in some circles, they call that an incentive to buy. And I'll just admit it. Yeah, it's an incentive to buy. I want you to use the system, and I want you to succeed. So head on over to recruitme.com/system. The grand opening was yesterday. This is grand opening launch week. Just been released, and it could be yours. Everything is digital, so you can access it immediately. I mean, if you buy it in the next 5 minutes, then a minute after that, after all the processing, you're going to have access to it. And you can begin working through the things we've been talking about, especially this week. Recruit-me.com is a place to go. I have a link in the show notes as well for this episode. I'll tell you more about that in a few minutes, but let's get into the meat of this episode and talk about video. I mentioned to you that it's been almost 20 years since we went through this with our twin sons. Yeah, we had 2 boys going through at the same time. I don't know if it was easier or harder, but those are the cards we were dealt, and so we went with it. And I'll tell you, we needed the money. We needed the scholarship. Can you imagine 2 boys at the same time? We'd still be paying that off now. So we're grateful, really thankful for that, been blessed. Back then, you know, we'd shoot the video. Then I don't remember how I edited it. I did it myself on physical tape, and I was able to edit it. I think I had 2 cameras going, one feeding the other, and somehow editing it. But we did get it done. Then we made a VHS cassette master. Now, if we have athletes listening right now, you have no clue what I'm talking about. Parents, you know. That's what we did. Well, after that, it was DVDs. Remember DVDs? That was after we were done with our process. We're getting closer. I think your kids might get it now. They may know what a DVD is. And now all you have to do is post it. I mean, there is nothing to handle. Everything's digital. This is wonderful. What a great world we live in, especially for getting exposure for athletes. But that's the way it was for us. Despite the medium, despite the fact it was a VHS cassette and whether it would have been a DVD or posting now, the principle and the content is still the same. Just ignore how you get it out to coaches for now. We're going to talk about the content. We'll get into how to get it out to coaches in a minute, though. But the content is key. And I want to share some things with you here that I'm big on saving money. I'm really big on that, especially in this whole industry as it's become now of recruiting and scholarships. It's become a big business, and I don't know how you feel about that, but if you're going for the scholarship, you're caught up in it. And there's so many ways you can spend your money. I mean, I've given you one already as I talked tonight. I'm asking, would you spend $97 to invest in your son or daughter for their athletic scholarship for the recruiting process? But you're getting other offers, too, of people asking you to spend. You can spend a whole lot more in other ways to try to get that scholarship. I'm all for you saving money. One of those ways that people waste a lot of money is video production. College coaches are not looking for a snappy video. They're looking for a great athlete. They're looking for a great athlete. A mediocre video will work. A mediocre athlete will not. Music, while your kid is running down the field carrying the ball across the goal line, has no bearing on what the coach will think of your son. Not at all. Because they're going to turn the sound down anyway. They're going to mute it. What's important, and get this, what is important is that your son or daughter is showcased through the video in a way that the coach can accurately evaluate their talent. In almost every case, the coach is going to see your son or daughter compete in person, but that's down the road. The video is for you to give them an idea, as much as they can get from a video, of your son or daughter's talent level. You can do it yourself. You can shoot it yourself, parent. Your kid can edit the video himself or herself. I have confidence that they can do that. That's great. Do this project together to make a great memory. But please don't think that you have to go out and hire a service that's going to charge you a lot of money. You don't have to do that. I want to assure you of that. I think I hit that nail on the head a few times. What should this video be? What is the content of this? So I said you want to showcase your son or daughter's athletic talent. So there's ways you can do that. It depends on the sport, of course. I mean, if your son or daughter is a sprinter, then after 100 meters, it's over. It's not like you're shooting a 7-inning baseball game or long football or basketball game. But here's some kind of rules of thumb. One, first thing you want to do is have your son or daughter record a personal intro. So the first thing that comes on the screen is not just your kid out on the field competing and you can't really see them, but the coach has a face to match with that athlete, has a personality to match with that athlete. This is just 30 or 60 seconds of your son or daughter introducing him or herself with a couple memorable bullet points that they want to communicate. That's right off the bat, and that's quick. Then you go into the content showcasing the talent. You want to do some things that showcase close-up mechanics of your son or daughter. So you want to be there. If our kids were pitchers, so that was easy because I could get down in the bullpen. I could be zooming in on them when they were on the mound. And that was easy to get close-ups. The coaches were able to evaluate their mechanics that way. And when they were hitting, it was the same thing. I could get up close. Baseball's a sport that is slower. But if you're basketball, football, track, lacrosse, soccer, all those, man, that's going to be a little tougher. But you want to make sure you zero in on your athlete to show his or her skills. For instance, if you want to, soccer, for example, if you want to show a coach how well your athlete handles the ball, how well your athlete shoots, it's not bad to even do that in practice. So they can get a good view of your athlete's ball handling skills. And then you'll take it from there into a game and shoot some game footage. That's a must as well. So do what you can to get close up so that the coaches can evaluate mechanics and talent. They can spot it right away. They watch these videos all the time, and they're looking at your son or daughter in comparison to others. They can spot it right away. So that's really key. Then you want to go into actual game footage where you're following your athlete around. Perhaps if it's football and they're a linebacker, you're zeroed in on them, and the camera is following them around the field, and the coach can see your athlete compete in context. It doesn't matter what sport it is. You want to get it close up enough so the coach can watch their talent level, but far enough away so they can see that in context. So several shots, several scenes, you could call it, of your son or daughter in action. And that is to be relatively close up so the coach can really tell and make an evaluation. Then the third thing you want is just running footage. If it's a basketball game, shoot a quarter, shoot a half of your son or daughter in there. Wide angle. That way the coach can watch your son or daughter compete and watch it in running time. There's no edits. It's everything. It's what you see is what you get. What you're trying to do through this video is produce something in place of if the coach coming to see your athlete compete. And he or she should, if you move down the road towards a scholarship, they have a shot at that. But you're trying to do what they would do. They will look closely at your athlete. They will step back and then watch your son or daughter compete throughout the game. They're not just looking at isolation. They're also looking at the big picture. You want to recreate that in a video. And that's what I would highly recommend. So those are the 3 parts, just the intro, personal intro. Then you want 4 parts, actually. Then you want very, very close up so they can analyze mechanics. That could even be in drills, could be pregame. Then third is in action but close up. And fourth, in action running time, running footage, entire quarter, entire half, whatever that might be, that your athlete is out there and competing. And maybe your athlete isn't out there for the whole half or whole quarter, but the idea is get running footage so the coach can see really in full context without any edits. Those are some things about video. I can't go through everything I do in the new Recruit Me system. If you want to go ahead and get that, I would love it. Brand new multimedia. We've got audio, we've got video, I've got digital, all coming together with what I believe is the best resource for parents and athletes at the best price. Here's a new nugget, golden nugget that I want to leave with you. Consider this. Considering the fact that this is a long road, recruiting, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. How about forming what I call a recruiting group? Perhaps 3 or 4 other families where you come together every couple weeks, every month, and you encourage each other through this process. This is a hard road. Encourage each other, learn from each other, find out what's working for one family, what's working for another. Don't go at this alone. I always say a parent and athlete should do it together, but when you get even other families together in a recruiting group, that is powerful, and that will help you stretch yourself and keep things going. You can be encouraging each other as each other sees results and help each other when some are having difficulties. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Basically, you're forming a team and you're going at this together. You want everybody to succeed. Well, that's it for this episode. Again, I've got the new Recruit Me system available for you at recruit-me.com/system. Just launched yesterday, and it's under $100, and it's ready for you to use and get started in. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow, I want to talk to you on day 5 about staying on the radar. You can get on the radar, and that's just the beginning. How can you stay on the radar, and how can you move up on the prospect list that coaches have? We're going to talk about that tomorrow. This is the recruiting funnel. I call it a recruiting funnel. As you can tell, we're progressing through this funnel. You want to come out on the other side with your offer and with the scholarship in hand. So we're moving through the recruiting funnel. We'll continue that again tomorrow in this 7-day series. Take care. We'll talk to you then.